All right, so let's talk about divorce. Most couples get married with the greatest of intentions. You know that. You walk down that aisle, you are so excited to spend the rest of your life with this man or woman, or whichever you prefer, for the rest of your life. And you hope for the best as you embark on this new yet terrifying and life-changing adventure called marriage. However, it seems that not many of these couples survive the test of time. According to the most recent divorce statistics released by Stats SA, there's been a 3.4% increase in the divorce rate from the last time, I think it was 2014 to 2016. Liezel van Merwe is the founder of SA Marriage Week and managing director of INTIEM magazine. She is joined by advocate and director of Fair Practice, Veerash Srikison. And they're here to give us some insight on the topic. Good to have both of you.
Good morning.
Welcome to Morning Live. So this is quite, it's a trend that's been happening for a while, because in fact I remember having this conversation a while back showing that the numbers for divorce keep on moving higher. So let's begin on your side. Liezel, what do you think is behind the increased divorce rate?
I think a lot of it is a lack of knowledge. As we move into a marriage and we have got these expectations that might not be real, and we work extremely hard on getting married. You know, you've got somebody in eye and you plan this wedding, but then the day after the marriage, you almost stop working at marriage.
Yeah.
And you think this is a self-sustaining unit. We don't know what is marital happiness for men, what is marital happiness for women. And we just go on autopilot and believe that this is self-sustaining, it will work out for itself. But we lack the knowledge and we lack the work to really make this work for us.
Perhaps it's that whole ideal of marriage, love at first sight. You sort of love more with your heart than your head. I don't know if that's a simple way of looking at it, but you sort of go into it thinking this is all going to be great. You got it all planned out, but you haven't really looked at the finer details because, I mean, from the law's perspective, there's a lot that goes into a marriage. I mean, you sign contracts, you realize that there are a lot of troubles that come with marriage.
Yes, a marriage is actually governed by your marital contract. So once you reach that point where you've decided to get into a civil union, you enter into a civil marriage, you then choose between a marital regime of in-community property, out-of-community property, with accrual, without accrual, and then you forget that you've actually entered into a contract of a union, and you've got to live out that contract going forward. Now you add children onto that. There are also legal expectations of having children in a marriage. You've got to care for these children. You have parental responsibilities and rights over your children. You have maintenance over your children. So you don't need to wait for your marriage to end to understand that you are maintaining your child.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of expectations of a marriage from a legal point of view that are actually obligations that you have, that some people are actually not fulfilling, and is becoming a frustration in their marriage.
Yeah. I know that we're in the middle of Marriage Week, actually,
Yes.
I just coincidentally, which is a campaign to put a reminder within couples
Yes.
as to why you actually got married. What is it? Get back to the necessity. But looking at this, the statistics that we're seeing now, and quite interestingly what you brought up as well, was the fact that the divorce rate is now higher, 3.4%. Add to that the fact that less people are getting married, so it's down 8%, as you kindly gave us that figure before we went on air. So marriage, what's happening here?
I think if you look at the millennials and the younger people, what is left of the expectation that they've got of marriage? They are so worried to get married because of divorce. They're so married because of people not being faithful, and they don't have the example anymore. So younger people are looking towards us and asking the questions, what are you guys doing wrong? Will we be able to do this right? But what I also like about the younger generation is they're always open to learn. And that is extremely important. But our lack of commitment to work at something, we live in this fast food world. We drive up to one window, order food, and get it at the next. And the lack of commitment is a massive thing in marriage.
It really is. I mean, it is a fast generation.
Absolutely.
And hopefully marriages don't end as fast, and that is what we're seeing here. I mean, is there a trend of how long marriages actually last in South Africa?
It wouldn't be a trend, but more of a revelation in terms of statistics, that there is a 5 to 9 year period of a marriage. And between 5 to 9 years, there's a divorce.
Wow.
And we're dealing with more than half of those divorces being included with children under the age of 18 years old. So we're looking at between a 5 to 9 year marriage.
5 to 9 years. On average, if you are going to be divorced, those are the most common years within South Africa. So Yeah, and then there are repercussions. I'm going to take a quick break because the repercussions are big. They're really big. But as we move into a break, have a look at some of the tweets that are coming through because a lot of people are joining in this conversation here on the program. Let me see. There we go. Love is expired like a food in the box. Okay. Sibusiso saying, people go to marriage with the wrong reasons and I blame love at first sight. Something we spoke about. That is why there's no such thing. People lose interest after marriage. Fikile saying, it's because only women have rights. We don't know. They abuse that right to disrespect men. Government is to blame. Really? Okay, come now. Let's stop blaming government for everything. Tembeletu saying, how is it that the comments regarding failed marriages are largely blaming women? I also noticed that mutual respect and commitment is key, yeah? And Dikhale saying, divorce might be caused by people getting married at a young age and not mature enough to deal with drama that comes with it. And Pamish saying, people no longer get married for love. It's more of how much is your bank balance and ATM fathers. It is a sad reality. All right, there you go. Let's take this last one. The life we live today is too fast and furious, hence the high rate of divorce. All right, let's take a break. We'll continue this discussion afterwards. Stay tuned.